Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about what I think may have happened to the Republic and to Anakin if Qui Gon was never killed by Darth Maul on Naboo. Now this topic is definitely not a new one, but is an interesting one nonetheless, so I thought I would talk about it for a little bit. As we know, Qui Gon was killed by Darth Maul simply because Maul was too quick and aggressive for Qui Gon. Qui Gon had to adapt to Maul's quicker fighting style during their fight. This is the type of situation Maul was specifically trained to exploit, which is why it was so easy for him to kill Qui Gon in the end. Now, if Qui Gon and ObiWan were never separated, I think they would have killed Maul a lot easier, probably doing it just like Obi-Wan did, maybe not keeping him alive this time. After defeating Maul, they would return to Coruscant, where they would meet with the Jedi Council and tell them what happened on Naboo. At this point, Qui-Gon would know, or most likely strongly assume, that Maul was a Sith Lord or at least had some type of dark side training. After hearing the news about the possible presence of a Sith, the Jedi Council would tell the newly appointed Chancellor, Chancellor Palpatine. After these events, I think Qui-Gon would begin Anakin's training, teaching him the ways of the Force, and start to teach him about the Jedi and what the Force really is. Knowing that Qui-Gon could be the possible link Anakin needs to drift away from his destiny as Darth Vader, Palpatine would now try to start a plan on how to kill Qui-Gon. I think the Sith Lord would complete his plan after Count Dooku left the Jedi Order. This is because, since Dooku was Qui-Gon's master, they had a strong link, and I think Palpatine would use this link against Qui-Gon. I also think Palpatine would come into contact with Dooku a lot sooner than he does in canon, and after meeting with him, he would tell him about his grand plan about why Anakin cannot be trained by Qui-Gon and explain to Dooku what Anakin will become, maybe leaving out the fact that Dooku has to die in the end. Even though Dooku was Qui-Gon's master, I believe he would do whatever Palpatine asked of him, because in his mind, he was doing what was best. And yes, I know Dooku gave that speech in Attack of the Clones about how he could use Qui-Gon's help, and Qui-Gon wasn't the Jedi Obi-Wan thought he was. But in reality, I don't think Palpatine would ever let the two talk, in a civilized conversation at least, because he could change Dooku's mind and ruin his plans even more. After Palpatine and Dooku make an attempt on Qui-Gon's life, I think Qui-Gon definitely survives the first encounter, only because it wouldn't be a very strong attempt, because while training a young Anakin in the Jedi Temple, it would be very hard to get two dark side users in and out, undetected, while killing a Jedi. Once the first attack fails, I think the Jedi Council would ask to get Qui-Gon more security, maybe even another Jedi to follow him around to secure his safety, but Qui-Gon would turn it down, saying, "If I must die, then it is the will of the Force." Now, I don't think Qui-Gon would necessarily make it all the way through the Clone Wars, but I think he would definitely train Anakin for a few more years before finally being killed by Dooku or Palpatine. After his death, Obi-Wan would most likely take over as Anakin's master, and to be honest, the story from this point plays out how it does in canon. Anakin and Obi-Wan would fight together in the Clone Wars, and Anakin would still feel the same emotions he has towards Padme, and the same sadness he felt towards his mother. The events of the Clone Wars would probably play out the way they also did in canon, as well as the Clone Wars ultimately ending with Anakin and Obi-Wan facing off on the burnt, torn-up surface of Mustafar, where Obi-Wan would defeat Anakin, leaving his burned body grasping for life on the edge of the lava river. Now, I know people would like to see the story for the specific change in events be different than how it plays out in canon, but in my opinion, if Qui-Gon survived his encounter with Maul and Naboo, Palpatine would never let him live long enough to have a major impact in Anakin's life, or a big enough impact to the point where he doesn't feel the feelings he has towards Padme or his mother. In the end, unfortunately, I believe Anakin's destiny was to become Darth Vader, and I think the only one who could have stopped that was Qui-Gon. But Palpatine knew that, which is why he had him ultimately targeted by Maul, and then killed. So that's what I think could have happened if Qui-Gon survived his fight with Darth Maul. Thank you so much everyone for watching. More videos like this will be coming out in the near future. So if you want, feel free to subscribe, leave a like. See you guys in the next one. May the Force be with you.